2008 Hummer H3. This is the Alpha model. I had an i5, inline 5, a 2007, but I sold it to buy the Alpha because I needed more power to pull this little trailer. And if you live in LA, everybody goes over the Cajon Pass, Sepulveda Pass, and pretty long hills. But I wanted to make this video. Alright, so I'm in my Hummer H3 Alpha. I had a inline 5 for a few years, and I ended up moving up to the Alpha. They both have similar issues, so I just wanted to go ahead and run down some of those common problems associated with the H3. Hopefully they can help you out, because I know there's a lot of questions on the internet concerning battery drains, parasitic drains, common issues with noises underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and make a short video of some of the more common issues with the H3 and some of the modifications I've done, which will greatly improve your Hummer, because they're pretty Spartan. They don't have a lot of fancy accessories. Everything's pretty primitive. Even the cup holders, I don't know who designed those, but it is what it is. But here's the list. The stereo, I tossed both of my stock radios in the trash. I did not want them. I did not need them. I prefer having a GPS stereo because it comes in handy. So this is a Kenwood. It's double DIN. Pretty much any double DIN radio will fit. You get the adapter, wiring harness adapter to plug into the GM, the original. It's pretty cut and dry. It's not difficult to take this out and put it in. What I did also is I added a little USB plug, and you could just pull the cigarette plug out and put a USB connector here. Pretty simple, cut and dry. 2 wires, black wire, red wire, hooks up the same as your cigarette plug, but you get the added bonus of having a voltmeter on there. So is a voltmeter accurate? Not 100% accurate, but it does give you a reading. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my vehicle here, and alternator's putting out 14.7. That's what this thing's reading. Is it 100% accurate? Probably close to it, but it's better than nothing, because everybody knows the Hummer H3s have no voltmeter. Another thing I've done is these temperature control knobs. I've switched them over to LED. It's a process. You got to pull this panel out, disconnect the electrical connectors to your faceplate here for your 4 high lock, low, all the temperature. You pull out this assembly, it's in the rear. I think there's a video out for that. And you can replace the lights here. I used LEDs, got them from Amazon, same as I did for this USB power plug right there. You can buy those from Amazon. I think the lights for this were like under $7-8 around there. LEDs, I got the blue ones. They light up real good. You can fix these. You don't have to buy a new one. You can just take it apart, take your time, do it right, and it's not that hard to do. I replaced the boot on my 07. This thing, you can just buy it. I bought mine on eBay years ago, and I replaced it on my 07 before I sold it. This one was in good shape, but you can pop this off, pull this apart, and you can replace this shifter boot. It's like some vinyl. It's not a big deal to do. You can change that out. The dreaded service tire pressure monitor light is on this one. It was off for quite a few years, and then the sensor batteries went out, and I kind of didn't really care to change it, because when I go off-roading I air down to about 15 pounds, 15 to 19, 20 around there, and my TPM lights come on and my warnings come on for low tire pressure, so I kind of really didn't even bother. I can live with it. It's not that bad. Hummer H3s, the lighting on these things, the dome lights, they're horrible. I switched all my lights out to LEDs, but what I did was I added that LED light. I think it's like 2 for $10 on, I think I got them on eBay or Amazon, I don't remember, but drilled a couple of holes in here, ran the wire, power wire all the way around the sunroof, and I tapped into the power here, and this thing's really bright. I mean, when it's nighttime, this thing will light up the whole cab. And I did the same thing in the rear, because when you're out in the desert, it's hard to get any kind of lighting in here with the original lights, because these little original lights, the factory lights, do not work. But you get a light switch that has a on-off switch, and you can have it activated to your door, so when your doors open up, this thing will light up. But I actually have it, the ability to switch it on and off by just buying a light that has a on-off switch incorporated into the light itself. Pretty easy, not too hard to do, and it's awesome when you need light in here, because like I said, the lighting is dismal in here. The OnStar, I'll show you where to disconnect the OnStar switch. That's a common issue with people killing their batteries. I'm gonna move around to the rear now. Okay, so the tail light. Go ahead, baby. Brake? Yes, ma'am. Okay, there you go. I home built the brake light. 5 LED lights. Hit it again, baby. Made a little bracket. You can do it on your own. I switched out the LEDs. So you need to put a resistor in there. They sell the kits on eBay or Amazon. All right, Mom. Thank you. You're the best. All right. This Alpha came with a monsoon stereo system. I threw it in the trash. I did not want it. I don't need a subwoofer back here. I went ahead and I bought this panel from a junkyard, and I put extra compartment in here. So in the rear I put the same style light, and this sucker's bright. That's the original one, and this is the aftermarket add-on. Pretty bright. That's a good modification you can do to your Hummer H3. Okay, everyone talks about the rear wiring harness for your trailer. So you can probably see part of it there. I added my own trailer light here. So the wiring that everyone's talking about, because on my 2007 it almost was rubbing through. So this right here, if you feel it, this wiring harness will rub on here and eat through this and then short your wires, and then you have a battery drain. And then you come out in the morning and your battery is kind of dead, and then won't start. But if you zip tie it away, put some extra conduit, you won't have a problem back here. But you got to do it if you want to make sure your battery, you want to keep your battery fully charged and ready to roll. But okay, another thing with the Hummer H3 is the backup lights. I went ahead and put LED lights in the tail and also the reverse light, and then I added this small LED. I think I bought it at Harbor Freight, I think it was. I'm not sure, but I'll go ahead and turn it on. So here is the LED add-on reverse light on. Believe it or not, it works pretty good. There's a plastic plug there. You pull the plastic plug off and you tie the reverse light to the reverse light on the factory tail light. And I'm probably going to put more powerful light in the near future, just because when you're out in the desert it is pitch black out there and you don't want to reverse into something that's going to damage your Hummer. So that's another modification you can do, which will greatly improve your H3. Okay, so coming around to the engine compartment, a common issue, very common, the battery clamps on the GM, they are very thin. You got to remember, these vehicles are 15 years old now. You can replace them, pretty simple. I learned my lesson the hard way on my old Hummer. This one I went ahead and took care of it before I had to. Swapped them out. I think it was like 15 bucks to get these new battery clamps. I had a crimping tool, so I just went ahead and crimped them, did it myself, added these, and went ahead and fixed that. That's a common issue. Another issue is this, is your ECU, which is this, and your transmission ECU. So PCM of North Carolina, I sent both of mine out. You're going to spend about 200 bucks. to have them shipped, have them reprogrammed, have them delete the pass lock, because the pass lock is a pain in the ass on these. Once your battery level goes down, it automatically is going to turn it off, or should I say prevent you from turning it on. So not too hard to pull those out. All you gotta do is be a little careful with the connectors. They're like a 32 pin or something connector, but you can go ahead and take those off, put them in a box, overnight them to PCM of North Carolina, and you will not have any. Alright, the GM alternator. On my 07 I had erratic voltage. I think the diode went out, but I went ahead and replaced both of them because they are old. I think on my 07 it was already 10 years old when I finally switched mine out. Don't wait if it's old. It's just a matter of time. You got to remember these vehicles are 15 years old. Some are even older. But I did have an issue with the voltage reading on mine. Mine was erratic. It would read up to 15, 16 volts, then it would drop down to about 9. So I went ahead and changed it out and had no more issues. Check engine light went away. A bunch of other issues went away with replacing the alternator. I just went ahead and did this one because it was original, so I just swapped it out. To show you one more thing, your OnStar has a inline fuse, and you don't need it. You can pull it out. I pulled mine out on both of them, both of my Hummers, and it's right here. It's in line with your battery. All you do is pop it out, and you don't need to do anything else. It disables OnStar, which people claim it will drain your battery if it stays on. I don't know how true that is, but I yanked mine out anyway. I don't have OnStar. I don't want OnStar, so yeah, that's where the cable is, where you can pull that inline fuse, the mini fuse, pull that out, and yeah, that's about it for this. Alright, so we're underneath the Hummer H3. So there's this cross member that I think all Hummers have the same issue. This bushing. So this bushing is replaceable. I've done both of mine. You don't have to buy the whole cross member. I think they're over 200 bucks. You can just buy the bushing. So I bought the bushing on, I bought the first one on eBay. I bought the second one on Amazon. I pulled it off, took off the cross member. Bolts are there. Bolts are there. I went to a machine shop because I didn't have a hydraulic press. They punched it up, put it back in. Charged me, I think they charged me 15 bucks to do it. Put it back in and not a problem. On my first Hummer, this thing was just making a huge amount of racket. Whenever I would step on the gas on my inline 5, it would just start knocking, like the transmission was like ready to explode. But it was not the transmission, it was this bushing here. It's about this thick. I tried to take it out on my own. I can probably do it on my own, but there was no way I was going to get it in. I didn't have a hydraulic press or a tool to get that sucker back in, but the machine shop, they did it in 30 minutes, in and out. I was gone. That's a common issue with these Hummer H3s, is this bushing will wear out and it'll just dry rot. Another issue is the drive shaft. So On my '07, the drive shaft just beat itself to death. The rubber just dry rotted itself out, and it was making a bunch of racket. This one is an aftermarket. I have the original GM, but I got it fixed because I wanted the original, but this one's been holding up. This one, I beat the heck out of this thing. But I don't remember where I bought this. I think I bought it on eBay. But I ended up getting the original GM fixed. There's a machine shop near my house that they repair drive lines. And I went ahead and got it repaired, and I have it as a backup because I didn't think this made in China drive shaft was going to hold up. But it's been on here for about 2.5 years, and this thing is having no problem, so I leave it alone. Another thing, the heat shield. So this heat shield right here will crack. On my '07 it cracked, and it was just making non-stop racket. I don't know if I hit something, but both of these were cracked, and I had to re-weld them both, slapped them back in, everything was good. Another issue with the Hummer is your shift cable. So on GMs, I've worked on GMs many times, and I've had this shift cable. There's like a hard plastic bushing in here, and it just gets old, dries up, starts cracking, and then you get slop in there, and it'll still shift, but it'll be really you have to like move your shift lever to engage the solenoid, which is behind here. It's a little black box, and let me see, kind of hard to see it, but it's back there. So instead of spending $2,500, $3,000 to fix a transmission, it could be as simple as your shift cable is worn out or damaged. So that's something to come and check when your transmission is not shifting correctly. The Hummer H3s, they're pretty bare bones. One thing that annoyed the hell out of me was this armrest is too low for my arm. I'm 5'11", but I had an issue with my arm being too low when I drive, so I added this thing. I don't remember where I bought it from. I think I bought it from eBay or Amazon, don't remember, but it's some little padded case to give you more room on your arm, because everyone knows these armrests, they're way too low on these Hummers. But that was one of the best $9 I ever spent when you're on a long drive. Comes in very handy. And then everyone knows about the sunroof drains. There's videos out on it already. I did both of my Hummers. It's a pain to get to them, but you can get to them. I have big hands. I use extra large gloves, and I was able to get my hands back behind both of the spots where your roof drains attached to your firewall. Like I said, there's videos out on that, so you can probably look those up. It is difficult, but it's not impossible, and you need to get that done or you're gonna have issues. If you don't get those roof drains, sunroof drains fixed, you're gonna have electrical issues, guaranteed. So there's videos out for that. I'm not gonna do it, but I've already done mine. I went ahead and took that little rubber grommet and drilled it out. Probably could have cut it out with a small razor, but I just drilled them out, made big holes, and no more issues. I did have a problem with my windshield on my 07. So the sealant right about there was dry rotted and it was cracked, and I had a tiny little dribble coming down my windshield. So what I did was I pulled off the rubber sealant that's on the outside, the factory seal, and I went ahead and cut out a little bit of the dried up windshield sealant, and I put some black RTV and let it dry. Next day I poured water on it and problem solved. I probably could have went to a windshield shop and had them pull the whole thing out and fix it, but I figured I would just see if a tube of black RTV silicone would do the job, and it did. But I did have a leak coming through my windshield, and it was at the windshield seal. So if you have an issue with water in your H3, besides the sunroof drains, your windshield, if it's original, like I said, I had a 07, so that thing was almost 20 years old. Well, when I had it, probably about 18 years old. And weather-beaten seal will make your windshield crack. So that's another thing to look into. Alright, so that's some of the common issues with the Hummer H3. Hopefully some of you guys can use some of this info and get your Hummer squared away. They're great vehicles. They're pretty hardy. I've never had any issues, and I go off-road. I don't rock crawl. I'll go around, but for the most part these things are pretty stout vehicles, and if you get the minor issues fixed, I expect this thing to run another 10 years without any problems. I live in California, so no issues with rust down here. But yeah, my Hummer, I'll probably end up getting maybe another 2 years before I go and take the transmission, pull it out, and then get it into the shop and have them rebuild it, because it should have maybe 200,000 miles on it. I did do a service a couple years ago, but I don't expect it to last forever. This thing's gonna go and within a few years. But besides that, these vehicles, with the exception of some of the electrical issues, these things they run really well. So good luck out there.